name is Megan O'Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, writing the book in real time. And this is the penultimate chapter for Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer. How you feeling about that, babe?
A little like I was really cocky and saying the next one's definitely the last chapter.
Yeah, that's true, because the email said penultimate. So
in my soul
that it is.
Like it's the last chapter.
Okay.
But I still have doubts in myself. And I'm like, Megan, did you screw yourself over by saying this?
Probably.
But in my head, it's for sure the last chapter next week. But I don't trust myself with those
So that
things.
means that the Kickstarter will theoretically be going up next week, but it could be in a couple of weeks.
No, it would be at, I'm going to screw myself over. It would be at max one more. But I'm like really,
All right.
I feel like in my heart very certain that this is the second to the last chapter.
Okay. All right. I mean, it feels like it.
like this is finale eve.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. This feels like it. It doesn't. It's feeling like you were leading us into not a cliffhanger per se, not like something that we're all going to be pissed and throw the book at the wall, but something where we're going to be like, you go. Okay. How long do I have to wait? And like that good waiting feeling. Yeah, you're really good at
I mean, the plus side is I'm going to screw myself over again. I'm doomed. I'm so doomed.
Yeah, it's okay.
If things go as planned, then it's not going to be a big wait before we start on book 2. Because this isn't like a traditional publishing process where it's like, it's going to be like 6 months if you're lucky.
Right. That'd be maybe, like a month-ish?
Probably 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We do have a lot of cons coming up.
Well, it's not that. It's I'm like thinking of how far I want to get in the side story that I'm doing between season 1 and season 2. And I'm like, well, I don't want to say how many weeks it's going to be because I'm really bad at those things.
I just realized I have to actually pull out some creativity for the cocktails we're going to have for Lori's stories. Is that what it is? Yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited because Ella's parents are kind of an unknown, right? Like we know a little bit about what she's told others and what we've been able to see from her first person like stuff, but it's like
But you really don't know your parents.
No, we don't know them at all.
You don't.
I'm stoked.
I mean, at this point, I feel like I almost kind of know my mother, and part of me is like, wow, I know things about my mother I don't want to know about my mother. I mean, Ella definitely hasn't reached that point.
You know that she listens to this now, right?
I know. She knows my opinion on this. I've said to her, Mother, I would like you could stop talking, and that would be great. I don't need to know these things, Mother.
Yes, that's right. Our parents should remain in this kind of ephemeral plane.
Like, we just want to, like, keep them in, like, little nun habits with, like,
nun habits.
Cups.
I was never under the impression that my parents
I would
were
feel much
righteous.
more comfortable. Well, no,
God.
not that. Just complete celibacy. Full life, complete
You realize
celibacy
how we got here.
to immaculate conception.
Is this tantamount to, like, or not tantamount, I'm using that word wrong, but, like, is this kind of akin to how you feel about meat?
I'm proud of you for admitting you said that. That was.
Yeah, it was kind of the
meat
similar
comes from
meaning,
cellophane.
but yeah, meat comes from cellophane, right?
And my sister and I came from, I
Storks?
don't know. No, so we did have a friend once, years and years ago, who was terrified that if you know this story, that if he accidentally got his, I don't know what we're allowed to say on podcasts, man spice.
Oh my God.
On the bathroom floor in a cast house. This was the scenario in his head.
This, by the way,
terrified
just so you understand, like, how close we are with this guy. This is the guy that I reached out to when we were looking at getting audio equipment, and he was like, "Yeah, you need to get this, and that." So I love that you're telling this story.
Okay. So, this was many years ago.
This is not how I thought this was going to start.
We were young. This did go on a weird little. Okay, so we'll do
it's
this.
Par for the course.
We'll do this. Okay, no. Okay, let's cheers.
Let's cheers first.
I'll finish telling the story, and then we'll jump right back into
little bit about the cheersing.
On.
Megan's already drinking. It's fine. But we are drinking 2 different beers tonight because I found one I wanted to try. I'm kind of regretting it a little bit. It's not my fave.
So then why don't we just... Well, no, you should name it.
No. I'm going to name it. The thing is, it's not that it's not a good beer. It's just not my particular beer.
That's true. Like, I can taste some sours and I'm like, wow, this is a really great sour. Right. I don't want any
exactly.
more.
It's like Saisons, too, in farmhouse ales. It's the same thing. It's just not what floats my boat.
Yeah,
but wait, hold on. We gotta cheers. So we are cheersing. She has Golden Monkey because that's one of her faves that we can actually get pretty easily down here. And this is a Goose Island Tropical Beer Hug, which I was like, that's adorable. It's a bear with sunglasses. That's going to be really good. There's apparently like notes of mango, and I'm like, all I taste is real bitter. It's not my favorite. And I like bitter beers, but cheers.
Life is bitter. Okay, so the story is...
Oh, I was drinking it out of the can, the first one that I had. Out of the glass, you actually get the notes. They come through a little bit more.
Oh, can I have a sip now?
Yeah, you can have a sip now. You're still not going to like it, but it is definitely, I get that kind of soft.
No, it still tastes like a Software Potpourri to me. Okay, so anyway, back to the story. This friend of ours, he was afraid that if he accidentally got his man spice on the floor...
God, you could just say seed. That's biblical.
If he germinated his seed.
Oh my God.
But no, if he got his man spice on the bathroom floor.
The real story of Johnny Appleseed.
He was terrified that if a girl fell into a split on this bathroom floor, I don't know why they're falling into a split, but that somehow.
You never had that happen to you?
Only in dance rehearsal. Like, yes, it's happened, but not in a communal bathroom.
Are we allowed to say what that's called on stage? If you do a batma into a split?
I mean, I think it's in dance dictionaries.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Go ahead, tell them what that is. Tell the kids.
I mean, as far as I know, it's a cooter slam.
I'm 5.
As far as I know, that is still the hip lingo with the youth. As of a few years ago. I think that's
I was
right.
so sheltered before I got into the world of dance.
But anyway, he was terrified that if she fell into a split onto his man seed accidentally, he would get someone pregnant. And the truth of it is, I would like to believe that my mother just had a really bendy in my heart, meat comes from cellophane. He was right, and that accidental bathroom slip is just
that still
there
means
goes a
that
baby.
Someone is engaging in a type of sexual act. So I'm just throwing that out. That doesn't actually change anything.
No, it makes it a little better. It makes it a little better.
That's fine. So now on to something completely different.
Now that we need more therapy.
Let's talk. Now that we need more therapy, welcome. We are not going to be your therapists. I need way more therapy before I can take care of somebody else's stuff. So why don't you tell them about what our newest our search has been for this summer? Because you are attending Dragon Con. As a what is it? A professional attending professional?
As an attending pro.
An attending pro.
Yes, I am attending Dragon Con in Atlanta as an attending pro, which feels very fancy and very much like what
you had this idea.
As somebody letting me do this. So for the panels that I'm doing, I was in touch with people there. And they were like, you can sell your books after your panels, but you only have a 10-minute turnaround. And so what I really need is a little traveling mobile bookshop. And in my head, what I want is one of those Victorian suitcases that's it rides up on its end and then it opens into this mini wardrobe. So it's almost like one of those weird guys with the watches inside their trench coat, and they're like, ha! Only it's me with my books inside this antique thing, and it's ha!
Hey kid, you want to buy a sundial?
Yeah, but it's hey,
Hercules.
Hey, you want to buy a book? Anyway,
and they will.
I know, but well, okay, that sounded snobby, but you know what I mean.
No, but your covers are gorgeous and your books have high ratings. That's just what it is.
Monkey. Yeah. And so we looked into that and buying a trunk, and we realized that a trunk it's too heavy a base, an actual trunk. So we're going to have to build something from scratch. Luckily, this one actually knows how to build things.
Oh my gosh.
So I have the advantage of his years in scene shops and things.
By the way, forgive me if I'm blinking a lot, and these contacts are so dry. I've been wearing them all morning.
Ooh. Yep. But yeah, so he's gonna build me something so I can have a little mobile bookshop that I can bring with me, so that when I'm going to panels and things, I can just roll it, and then open it like a little Victorian trunk and be like, hey, you want a book? I got some fantasy romance
and I like your
here.
idea about using these crates that we have as our bookshelves. Like, I think that's a great idea.
Well, no, we decided we couldn't do it.
I thought
because of the stickers.
Wait, what?
Because the stickers, you wanted to put stickers on the sides. And if we put stickers on the sides...
Yes, no, but that can still have a front, and we can still encase that. Like, that's fine. Using that as the skeleton is what I'm talking about. So use the crates as a skeleton and then attach, like, 1/4-inch ply to the sides.
We're going to need to have some design
Well, yeah,
meeting.
it's fine. Well, yeah.
I think you're adding weight to the construction.
I don't know that we... you're probably right. Well, what about Luan? We can do Luan.
Yeah, that still adds weight if you have the crate.
Not Luan.
No, because then you have extra crate bits you don't need.
These crates are so light, though. I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk about it.
Okay. We're gonna have design meetings.
We'll have a designer meeting.
Well,
Thank you. Welcome into our workspace. This is our conversations. Like, these are how they go.
Part of me wants to design it like a TARDIS, but that just to be like, it's bigger on the inside.
No, you know what?
Look at my fantasy worlds.
What I've been wanting to do for ages is to put together something so that I can be Beetle, who is the traveling salesman in Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, who is actually loosely based on Robin Williams. It's really sweet. It was
cute.
Yeah, it was Nintendo's kind of payment to him because he loves Zelda. He named his daughter Zelda.
I know.
Huge fan. So anyway, to dress up as Beetle and have that be my cosplay and have like your books on my back that I'm like going around, that'd be fun.
See, my dream is to, like those styrofoam balls you get at the craft store?
Yes.
I want to paint them like little Pokeballs. And every time I see someone in one of those blow-up Pokemon costumes, I just want to chuck a ball at him and be like, I choose you! Well, bam!
You've never seen the anime.
I've seen some of it.
That's not what I choose you is that reference to.
Well, when I do it, it's going to go, I choose you! Well, bam! Okay. But I like the styrofoam ball concept because it's very hard to trip on.
I love how I just got upset about an anime for children.
You're not listening to the anime.
Sorry, please.
But if you step on a styrofoam ball, it's not going to roll out from under your foot. You're just going to crunch it. Yeah. So I feel like safety-wise, it would work. You can't really hurt someone with it.
That's true.
So I feel like this would be ideal.
I mean, we also have one of these.
No, this is tin. No, you can't throw tin.
Throw the great ball.
You can't throw tin.
We still need an ultra ball, by the way. Okay, sorry.
Okay, anyway.
Don't look at me. I don't know how to get us back on. This is the Just Anything Goes.
Previously on Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer. They have finally found Clara's remains and gotten Sheriff Archer to her, turning her body over to the Laurel-Dale authorities.
That sounds like a great idea.
Well, they have forensic shit they can use.
I guess. Why didn't they fucking use it before?
Because they didn't bother fucking looking for her. I know. Ugh. Okay, so then she goes back to Kate's. We're doing so well today. So then she goes back to Kate's. Kate gets into an argument with Ella. Ella drives off. She stops outside the gate to the Blackwood estate to take a breath and figure out what the fuck she's planning to do now that she's stormed away from her guardian.
I'm ready. That was a dart gun. Not that that's what was actually being used.
A window crashed in her truck and everything went black. Did I get us?
No, because then so the actual last chapter was her being in there and talking to Austin the first time. So you gave us
Wait, we've already done one of these?
Oh, man.
Wait, do we need to go back and cut the last previously on?
No, it doesn't. No, you're fine. And then Ella wakes up to find that she's been kidnapped by an ostentatious asshole.
That was last week?
Wow.
That's separate from this chapter?
Man, y'all.
Time has no meaning. Why?
In the arms.
Okay, should we snap and cut back to the last
Just give us a quick catch up because we start in the same location we ended the last chapter. So just give us a quick catch up.
So Ella hath been kidnapped. She wakes up in a kidnapped state, bindeth to a chair.
Bindeth. This is why she has an editor. Bindeth.
Boundeth.
Okay.
Bounderatedeth.
Oh my God.
Bindeth to a chair
Justin is going to let me have it for this.
Kidnapped by a man she dubs Austin. So
Austin with an O.
Austin. Yes, Austin. Not ostentatious, Austin. Oh, I'm doing so well today.
God, yes.
Okay, in my defense, our neighbor lost her cat, and I've been really panicking looking for the neighbor's cat all day.
True. That's
so Austin, you know. Mm-hmm. Okay, the bit about the previously on, that was totally normal. But the Austin, give me that one. Give me that one.
You got it. And then he has this black leather binder that is very tantalizing, and spoiler, we get to find out a little about that binder, but it happens pretty early. So
that was a different chapter.
That was it, yeah. Good job. I'm proud of you. Hey, you know what? There could be people who missed the, last week.
Well, now everybody knows.
Now everyone knows.
That's the thing, is it's hard for me to remember where the breaks in the story go.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's all just story.
Well, it's like, because we're on chapter 37 now, and even though you're 37 chapters into this process, meaning that we've been doing this for, oh my gosh, like it's been... what, almost 10 months-ish? Mm-hmm. A little bit less than that. But yeah, like it's still new for your writing process because you've been writing for 14 years. So this is still new.
I'm not used to having such hard stops where it's like, and this is where this chunk
right.
Goes. And this is what I'm used to cakes, not cupcakes.
That's true.
Ooh, that feels deep and meaningful.
Cakes, not cupcakes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, but weren't you the one who wanted, you wanted cake for your party and not cupcakes? Was that what it was?
No.
Now that I've put us on that tangent.
What had happened was,
oh, geez.
When I was 3, we had an exchange student. Our birthdays were very close together. Mm-hmm. So we were going to have like one birthday the day after the other. My parents ended up just like getting all the cake done at once.
Right.
And so they gave me, because she was like 17 and I was 3.
Right.
They gave me the option of, do you want the cake or do you want the cupcakes?
Yes.
Megan's 3-year-old brain thought, one cake, one cupcake. Fuck you. I want the cake. But then they started cutting my cake and divvying it up, and I had not understood that part of the arrangement, and it was a very large emotional blow. All right, so shall we start?
This explains so much about you, by the way. All right.
It's better than the dead frogs on that trip.
Oh my God. Y'all, so I'm not going to stay on this for too long, but we used to have, Megan had a blog that she started while we were on the Fiddler on the Roof tour called Life Beyond Exaggeration, because she kept telling these stories from her past, which, by the way, when we first started dating, she told me the story about how she led a troop to win this thing called the Silver Saber at the West Point Camporee. And she told me that she had been a Boy Scout, which I guess you were adventure crew at that point, right?
Well, I started one and so it was like,
right.
Explore.
But like, I didn't in my, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm a guy. I know everything. I don't know. I knew nothing about scouting. But whatever the reason was, look, most guys are guilty of that, and it's not okay.
You were young.
I know, but still. I admit when I'm wrong. Usually.
You were like shedding your toxic masculinity.
Amen. Don't let toxic masculinity happen to your sons. It's not a good thing. But she was like, yeah, and I led this troop in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to like win this Silver Saber. And I was like, you did not. And then I went to her house and I went, oh, there it is.
And there's a sword on the wall.
So she continues to tell these stories that you're just like, there is no way that actually happened, but it did. And living with her for 21 years, I can tell you that nope, it's for serious. All this shit has actually gone down.
And it just keeps happening.
You are, it's just crazy.
I don't know. I think it's because I get lost and easily. I've always gotten lost. I'm a little...
But anyway,
what is the movie with? Is it Jay Baruchel?
Jay Baruchel or whatever.
Where the joke is that he ended up wandering onto a film set and he was like, I don't know why I'm supposed to be here.
And they're like, you're cast.
And he's like, I don't. And then he's just had a Hollywood career ever since because he hasn't known how to get out of it.
And that's him in a nutshell in Sorcerer's Apprentice.
But
with Nick
that's
Cage.
me in a nutshell in my life where
It's
I'm like,
true.
I don't know how I got here, but I guess I'm going to do my best since it's happening.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing on this movie set, but I guess we're going. That's pretty much it. So anyway, the short of the story is, I mean, too late, is that Megan tells these stories and people are like, there's no way that's true. And so I was like, you need to start a blog. So yeah, and thus began that. I wish that we still had that blog going, but yeah, because you definitely have more stories to tell. Speaking of stories to tell, read the story, read the chapter.
No, we should go back because I think we have those old posts archived somewhere. And I should pull them and make a video series of them on TikTok.
That's a brilliant idea.
That's a lot of material that I already worked on.
Yep, that's
High
true.
five. Remember that for after the episode.
I'm sure I won't, but I will try. Okay, so are we ready to jump in?
Yes, and also sorry if anyone hears a high-pitched merp. Miss Meanie has already decided that she needs to be included in this recording session.
Yes, she has.
But she's a very happy girl.
All right, so I am going to move the microphone. You know, I'm wondering, I think that we keep with this because as close as we sit together, I think that having another microphone would lead to feedback. But I do wonder about that. Maybe we should try that sometime because we do have another mic.
I don't think so because I'm a swear and I feel like if you tried to have anything just for me,
that would be bad.
Still have my voice be
That's a good point.
Because I'm just sitting over here like, I'm just a little lost green cloud.
Okay. All right. So I'm taking a drink and then we're getting started. My goodness.
I'm doing really well today.
You're doing so well, baby. You keep going. You are living. Good job. I'm proud of you. Okay. So without further ado, I present to you. Stop it. I said without further ado. Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Sketchbook of a Wayward Seer by Megan O. Russell. Chapter 37. Generations will read about tonight. A fucking nightmare sentence to any Etherean with a survival instinct, which destroyed my hope of Austin O fuckface McMoron death wishiest ass holiest the last because there was no way in fuck this idiot was surviving long enough to breed if he hadn't already, which who the fuck knew, and it didn't really matter, but the throbbing in my head was making it hard to cling to any thought, and the crack in the concrete looked like a creepy smirk, letting me go to save his own ass, giving me total mixed messages on what the fuck my best play was, which didn't really matter either since I was bound to a fucking chair with zero chance of breaking myself out. Okay, now that I have finished that sentence, I think that's the longest one that you have ever written for this chapter, and I realized that it is really impossible for me to read it with the intent that you wrote it because the two halves of the actual sentence are so far apart. So guys, if you want to understand what the actual intent of the sentence is, let me read that to you. I'm going to cut out the middle stuff. A fucking nightmare sentence to any Etherean with a survival instinct, which destroyed my hope of Austin O fuckface McMoron death wishiest ass holiest the last, letting me go to save his own ass, giving me total mixed messages on what the fuck my best play was, which didn't really matter either since I was bound to a fucking chair with zero chance of breaking myself out.
Do nobody else's thoughts get that separated when they get anxiety?
So, but that's my point. So I did that so that I can show you the reason it is so disjunct is because right now Ella's thoughts are that disjunct. So,
isn't that how everybody thinks in anxiety? We're like,
I don't know, Megan. I have no idea. Your IQ is way higher than mine. I can't fathom how you think.
You have anxiety too.
I do, but I'm not at your intelligence level, so I don't know.
But that, okay,
IQ
first of all,
has got
you
to
are
affect.
Also very smart.
I didn't say I wasn't very smart.
But I don't know, maybe I think in bigger thoughts if I think faster, but don't you do that where you like go on like tangent back?
No, my brain is constant tangents. So no, I don't have a through line.
You don't have a through line?
Not really.
Oh, fuck, that's awful.
Yes, I know. I know. This has been my life for 39 years. Well, I can't remember the first like 3, but yeah. Wow. I know. I may or may not have made that joke today during horror makeup show. There was a baby over there and somebody said, the host was like talking about the baby. He was like, well, make sure the baby's watching. I said, nah, she's not forming memories yet. We're fine. We kept going.
Okay, now that we've gone on this big a tangent, let's go back to the top of the chapter.
Okay, great.
Because we've only made it through a sentence and a paragraph.
I can't believe you're making me read this again. Okay.
Yes.
Generations will read about tonight. A fucking nightmare sentence to any Etherean with a survival instinct, which destroyed my hope of Austin O'Fuckface McMoron Death Wishious as holiest the last. The last because there was no way in fuck this idiot was surviving long enough to breed if he hadn't already, which who the fuck knew, and it didn't really matter, but the throbbing in my head was making it hard to cling to any thought, and the crack in the concrete looked like a creepy smirk, letting me go to save his own ass, giving me total mixed messages on what the fuck my best play was, which didn't really matter either since I was bound to a fucking chair with zero chance of breaking myself out. Fuck. Breathe, Ella. Breathe, Ella. Austin carried his fancy black leather binder to me, smiling as he presented the first page like a high-end waiter with an overpriced wine list. An old 70s, maybe 80s, picture of a man took up the top of the typed page. The crisp printing on the white paper looked more like a school report than anything sinister or magic-related. Normal, boring, perfect for slowing my heart rate. Howard Castell, 1930 to 1991, father of Lucy, Agnes, and Howard Jr. In 1987, for reasons unknown, Howard Castell altered his will, disinheriting his offspring while updating his listed physical possessions to include artifacts, talismans, and rare texts with origins not of his coven, a number of which had been stolen from their guardians, presumably by Castell himself. I scanned the rest of the page, telling Austin when to flip as I continued reading through the introduction section. The process bought me 10 minutes of calm silence. Perks of having an The process bought me 10 minutes of calm silence. Perks of having an organized kidnapper? Basically, old Howie hated his kids, his coven, and everyone else he knew so much that rather than leave them anything or, return the shit he'd stolen to its rightful owners, he'd hidden his cash in an underground vault and left a fucked up riddle, which most of the people who knew him said was just a bunch of bullshit since Howie was such an asshole, making people waste their time following meaningless clues was the exact sort of shit he'd do. But, of course, all of his kids spent years hunting for the vault before finally, one by one, meeting horrible deaths while following the obsession their own father had laid out for them. Which was probably good old Howie's plan to begin with. Gotta love fucked up families. The last section of the introduction listed all the people known to have searched for the Castell cache, with asterisks marking those who'd died in the process. Each name had a bracketed number beside it, presumably the page of their in-depth entry in the binder. Paige would have loved it. "What do you think?" Austin said when I finished reading. "Extensive." I aimed for a borderline bored expression. "I love thorough research." Austin set the binder back on his little table of menacing baubles, but he laid it down on its side rather than standing it up the way it had been, leaving the crack in the floor still in view, the sneer picking at my attention like pen on someone's cheek when you're trying to have a serious conversation with them. There's something sexy about a sleek dossier. "Not my kink, but you do you." Austin smiled, not in a threatening, leering way, more like he appreciated my humor. "Your impression on Castell's cache? I really hope Howie buried your family grimoire, because if you're willing to kidnap a Sybil on the random hope that she, in a departure from pretty much all Sybildom, happens to have a natural knack for tracking objects, you're either stupid or suicidal, and neither of those is great for me." His smile veered into pitying sneer territory as he sat in the chair opposite me. "There is no random hope, Ella. You tracked the bones of the dead wolf." Her name was Clara. Embers of anger floated through my calm. The crack in the floor caught my eyes, its smirk matching Austin's, like the fucking concrete was taunting me. "Apologies," Austin said. "You tracked Clara's bones, which has nothing to do with treasure hunting. An inanimate object is an inanimate object. Are you trying to kill your chances of my ever fucking helping you? I neither mean to disrespect the wolf who used to own those bones, nor wish to belittle whatever that poor Etherean suffered before death." Austin held up both hands in a... Why that word?
Conciliatory. Wait,
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
Okay. No.
Go ahead.
No, you start it and I'll just put in that word.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wait, where is it? Point.
It's right here.
Okay.
Austin held up both hands in a
conciliatory
gesture that somehow made me hate him less and fear him just a touch more. I hate that. I don't like that at all. But thank you. That was a hard word.
You're welcome.
Continue. I think the fear came from his easy smile as he shifted course, soothing me rather than fighting back, like his dossier on me noted my temper and he'd studied soothing tactics in preparation for poor little Ella's outbursts. I meant to speak only from a practical standpoint, which is still fucked up and still doesn't have anything to do with finding Howie's hidey hole. Calm, Ella. He likes dates and data, Ella. The floor's smirk kept smirking, enjoying my fucking floundering. Breathe. Explain. I never tracked Clara's bones, I said. Austin frowned. You didn't perform a blood ritual without your guardian's consent or assistance? Yes, why? Nope, sorry. Then what did you do in that cabin with your two friends? A fae and a werewolf, correct? For a second, my mind became a cold, black void. Then a high-pitched, panicking ping came into being, its screeching punctuated by a low, rhythmic fuck that raced along with my heartbeat. The cabin had been, what, a week ago? No, longer. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. What the fuck had happened in the last week? I'd been searching for Clara, lusting over Caleb, doing high school shit. If fucking Austin knew I'd been fucking with blood rituals in that fucking cabin, he could know anything I'd done anywhere, but there was nothing he couldn't know, right? No catastrophic secrets exposed, right? Right? Would you like to change your answer? Austin laced his fingers together in his lap. Don't panic, Ella. You've done some mild stalking before too, Ella. He just handed you info, Ella. How long have you been following me? Your answer, Ella? Fine, yes. I shrugged, getting a nice flare of pain in my hurt shoulder blasting through whatever pain meds Austin had shoved in my IV. I did a blood ritual, but it didn't help me find Clara's remains. It helped me figure out where she'd been murdered, and as you so classily noted, the fucker who murdered her dumped her body where it was pretty fucking easy to find after I'd reached the place the event happened. Not an object, a place. Make sense? Are you intentionally oversimplifying, or do you lack imagination? I'm sorry, what? If my legs had been free, I would have kicked him in the fucking face as he leaned toward me. A Sibyl should know as well as a witch that just as a place or person, an object can hold an echo reaching from either side of our present moment. A centuries-old text of vampiric runes, a Typhon amulet, a moonstone imbued with power predating the pact, a mere taste of the treasure Castell claimed to have buried in his vault, each known to be present for an event important enough to leave a trace upon it. All you have to do is find the right echo. I have to pause here because I just saw something. A moonstone imbued with power? Hold the fuck on. Wait, okay, hold on. Is that just a cute nod? Or are you placing this in the same universe?
No, they are not in the same universe.
So this is just a nod.
This is just a nod. I was like, tee-hee.
That's
then my
cute.
Fracture Pact readers
That's
can
cute.
be like, ooh.
So this is a very, very quick side quest, but in Fracture Pact, in Cursebound Thief, and the following books, in order to harness their power without the full moon, werewolves can tap into a moonstone. So that comes into play at the end of book 1 of Fracture. Well, actually, it comes into play on the mountain too.
But they can have spell-worked moonstones with the assistance of a magician.
Yes.
They can have a spell-worked
moonstone.
moonstone.
Wait, really? It's with a magician's assistance. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that why they have so many? Because the Holdens had that property, so they helped them? And then they rebelled? Fuck those werewolves.
Not against the Holdens.
Yeah.
After things went to hell.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is like in Fracture, in book 1, when they're on the mountain.
Yeah, because things have gone to hell.
So
they were used to living in like this luxe place, and then things went to hell.
Sorry. Anyway,
yes,
this is not that book.
In the
but
series, yes, if you have a spelled moonstone,
my contact.
Then you can use it to shape into your partial wolf form or full wolf form without the full moon.
Yes. Okay, so you can also use it for partial.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Well, no, that's what Eve usually does. She doesn't usually take her full wolf form.
Okay.
She usually just goes for the important parts, like claws, teeth,
yeah, teeths.
Teethsies, clawsies, the refs isn't important.
So we're gonna get back. No, you're good. We're gonna get back into this now. But yeah, guys, while you're waiting on the next installment for Laura Dale, go check out Cursebound. It's probably the closest to this one, I would say. Yeah, like in tone, I would say Ember and Stone, but as far as like full-on content, I'd say Cursebound. All right, cool.
Remind me to tell you something I'm excited about in Lori's story after this.
With Lori's story? Gosh, all right, you're giving me a lot of stuff to remember. All right, I'm going to try.
I already forgot what else you were supposed to remember.
Me too.
Okay. Continue.
Joyous glee glittered in his eyes. By the way, since it's been a while, his meaning Austin's. Okay, going back. Joyous glee glittered in his eyes. Megan's laughing at me. Sorry to spit on your cake, but even if we set aside the fact that you're functioning with some huge, fairly inaccurate assumptions, I still can't help you. The fuck's smile didn't even waver. Why? You're trapped and want to survive. You're fucking trapped and survival is important, Ella. Because you said you need my services long term. Even in an imaginary world where vision-worthy shit clings to all nouns equally, tracking an object would have to start with finding a person or place the missing thing crossed paths with at a vision-worthy moment. We wouldn't be looking at one blood ritual down a known person's path. It could take repeating the process dozens of times to even begin making progress. Best guess, if I hadn't been kidnapped, had fire shoved into the side of my ass, been given random drugs through a sketchy IV, and whatever the fuck happened to the back of my skull, I'd make it through the ritual max 3 times before my brain and or body gave out. Doesn't really matter which, dead, catatonic, babbling incoherently, I'd be out of commission way before you got anywhere near your treasure. Sybils aren't stone. You are capable of healing. Fuck you. Fuck you. Sure, if you want to drag this process? My D. Ooh,
I like your process.
Okay. Sure, if you want to drag this process out over years, I'll just keep picking away at it one trip into hell at a time. His glee-glittered eyes gained a satisfied glimmer. If you want to play it that way, I sighed, leave me Howie's dossier and drop me off at Kate's. I'll sleep for a few days and you can... Sybils grow from the seed already planted. Werewolf lineage speeds your healing, does it not? My ribs bounced against their metal binding as I laughed. Not the way you're thinking, buddy. Maybe in a few days I could have my shit together enough to try another deep dive into Vision Land and come out coherent enough to tell you anything I saw. But if I do that with my brain still half fucked from the ritual for Clara, I can't even give you a guess on how long it would be before you'll be fine. No, I really won't. Do you know the true difference between a steak knife and a scalpel? I'm pretty sure they've only got one thing in common, actually. Don't poke, Ella. Hand a surgeon and a fool a steak knife. They'll both have something useful for dinner with an added possibility of danger. Hand them each a scalpel. The surgeon has a tool and a weapon. The fool only has a shiny new way to nick their poor little fingers. The fuck are you talking about? For fuck's sake, Ella. Calm, Ella. How well honed is the ritual you performed to seek out Clara? Does it bend your blood's power to your will, or is it a steak knife in a hand that could wield a scalpel? Still no clue. I gave a pinched smile to stop myself from adding, and I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about either. The witch who wove the ritual didn't understand how best to utilize your true talents, did they? Hard to know the true talents of an inexperienced kid. Hard to know what magic's available if Mommy doesn't come clean. He faked a thoughtful frown. Though, if Mommy admitted just how naughty she'd been, what would have happened to Daddy? Anger slashed through the last thread of calm I'd been clinging to. Shut the fuck up about my family. Her voice rumbled in her throat. I don't know why I just said that. Because it did. Because she mad.
She mad.
And she's going wolfy. Well, she can't, but she is. You know what I mean? Anger.
She's following her lineage.
She is. I just gave her that violet growl because I feel like that's what's in her soul. Anger slashed through the last thread of calm I'd been clinging to. Shut the fuck up about my family. My voice rumbled in my throat. Austin laughed. I threw my weight forward, fighting against my bindings, not caring about the metal digging into my flesh, because all that fucking mattered was ripping Austin's throat out so he could never laugh again. You don't know shit about my mother, you dumb fucking fuck. He tipped his head back, laughing harder, displaying his neck like he knew my throat-ripping aim and was deliberately mocking my helplessness. Think, Ella. Reason, Ella. I'll kill him. I'll kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him. I wanted to scream at him, you'll fucking pay for this. I'll stomp on your entrails while you're still alive, you fucking fuck. But I was trapped. and there was no threat I could think of that wouldn't make me sound like a hyped-up puppy yipping at the end of their leash. I pressed my spine to the back of my chair in a forced retreat, making my lungs accept air, trying to feed myself the lie that there was dignity in silence. That's a nice line, babe. That's when you say thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeez Louise. That was well played.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Austin sighed and brushed the tears from his eyes, settling out of his fucking cackling. I may not know much about your mother, but I've certainly learned more about you. Entrail stomping wouldn't be enough for him. Nope. Now, he clapped his hands to his thighs and stood like he'd just completed his task. As your future depends on your worth to me, we'd better not let time tick away. Did you miss the part where I explained that even if I had the ability to track your fucking treasure, it would take years? Not with my help. Austin wheeled his table of danger baubles closer. We'll whittle that time down and
We'll whittle?
Well, I needed to because he's a douche, and that's, yeah, you know what I mean.
Canoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We'll whittle that time down to mere weeks. So you're planning on getting me killed? Austin lifted the dagger from the table. For a second, I thought I'd pushed too hard and he was just going to cut my throat and be done with me. For a second, I didn't really mind. Not painless, but with the pain meds in my system, probably not awful. Not instant, but not prolonged torture. Not the worst end to the fucked up life of Ella Day. But he tipped the blade toward my left hand. What are you doing? I tried to yank my wrist free, but I couldn't move my arm, and the leather cuff, the one Caleb had given me, was under the rune-etched band that trapped me. The shiny little bird caught on the magicked metal, pressing on some nerve that sent sparks of pain shooting through my fingers. I only need a few drops of blood to begin my work. I didn't coo that at all. Austin coos those words. I only need a few drops of blood to begin my work. Is that cooing?
I love your acting choices.
Austin cooed in a soothing tone as he lowered the tip of the blade to the back of my hand. Stupid surged through me. I chomped down on my tongue, biting deep enough to bleed, and spat red in Austin's face. There! He stumbled back, swiping my blood from his eyes, ending up where his table of malice had been moments before, lining himself up in front of the smirking crack in the floor. And there it was. The moment of recognition when enough pieces of a shredded picture are taped in place and you can finally tell what the image was supposed to be. I'd seen that crack in the concrete before, with a corpse lying on top of it. A female corpse. Austin wiped his lips with the back of his hand. Did you gain something from that display? Yes. He came at me, one hand raised protecting his face, the other still wielding the dagger. I watched the light catch the blade as he swung it toward me, bracing for a slit to the throat, not even registering pain as he sliced the back of my hand. He didn't wait for blood to start flowing, just dropped the dagger on his table and strode behind me, moving into the part of the storage shed/workshop I couldn't twist far enough to see. Think, Ella. The girl I'd seen on the ground. With a squeak, a tap turned on behind me. The water hit the basin with a low thump, like a utility sink. I spat blood on the floor, getting it out of my mouth before I choked. I'd searched for the girl in the vision. I'd tried to find her. I'd been distracted by Clara. A raspy pump of hand soap behind me. More blood spat on the floor. The girl I'd stopped looking for would be held in this place. She would die here, unless... Fuck. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Unless my fucking life came down to if I fucking knew what I looked like from behind. Fuck. I couldn't fucking think. My heart jolted to an absurd speed, pounding too hard, pulsing through my thoughts, breaking them apart because while having my throat slit seemed like, not the worst I was about to say opinion.
Not the worst. honest opinion. I mean, my throat splits.
All right, I gotta take a drink. Hey, look, we're halfway through.
I am so proud of you. We've had a really good run.
I think we've had a good run. All right. Wait, hold on. That sounds like we're like
immigrants.
Parting ways.
We get the job done. No, we're not doing Hamilton.
Oh my God.
You like my beatbox?
Yes, thank you. That was beautiful. I think that you need to audition for Pentatonics. I think that you might be the next beatboxer. Good job.
Oh yes, I'm very talented.
You were so talented. I couldn't fucking think. My heart jolted to an absurd speed, pounding too hard, pulsing through my thoughts, breaking them apart because while having my throat slit seemed like, not the worst option, dying face down on fucking concrete because I'd let myself get distracted by peer pressure and missed a vision of my own death was a very fucking different thing. The dead girl's hair had been matted and bloody, which mine probably was, based on a long day of hiking, being kidnapped, and whatever the fuck had happened to the back of my head. And the girl's clothes had all been generic stuff that could work for hiking. Things I could have ended up wearing yesterday, if I'd borrowed boots from Kate, or not spilled coffee on my more comfortable pants, or if Paige had nudged me toward a different option on our jacket hunt. Details too unimportant to the events of the day, too easily altered by minor decisions to be reliable details in a vision of the future. The sound of paper towels being ripped from a dispenser. But the girl's hair had been longer than mine. But how long was my hair now? I hadn't gotten it cut since the world shattered. It could be me. Fuck, it's probably me. No, could be me. I didn't know. And it was fucking ridiculous that I didn't fucking know if I'd seen myself dead on the floor of this fucking room and just not fucking noticed. Fuck! There had to be something I was missing. Yay or nay? A definitive answer. Dead Ella? Different victim. Dead Ella? Different victim. I just needed to fucking know. Hard-soled shoes against the gritty floor I might die on, coming back from the sink, anger in the weight of his step. The girl hadn't been short or tall or skinny or curvy. She'd just been, I don't know, fucking person-shaped, which I also happened to be. My throat tightened, too narrow to pull in air. Me or another girl? I couldn't even give it odds. 20% chance it's me? 99%? I didn't know, and I couldn't think past the pounding in my fucking head. Survive, Gels. Rule 1 is always survive. Okay. Shall we try again? Austin crossed back around in front of me, keeping out of easy spitting range, looking younger with his fresh scrubbed face and the speckles of spit, blood, and soap on his formerly pristine collar. Fuck. Best option, assume the worst. I'm going to die here. If you agree to behave... No, Ella, don't think like that. You're not allowed to think like that, you fuck. I'm willing to hear your thoughts on your first step in our endeavor. If not... He shrugged and picked up a little vial from his table. It's your job to survive, Gels. He pulled the stopper from his little vial and looked at my hand. Would you like to cooperate? Ella Day dies here. Fine. If Ella Day dies here, don't be Ella Day. Don't be Ella Day. Easy answer, but Ella Day was me. Ella? He furrowed his brow, making sure I couldn't miss his impatience. Ella Day list of nope. Flirt my way out. Aside from Austin being somewhere, by my guess, in his mid-20s, he'd also fucking kidnapped me, so flirting would definitely never appear on my first draft options list. Sobbing hysterically. I hate fucking crying, and crying in front of people I hate is even worse. I'd rather have my spleen removed through my asshole. A great anti-Ella option. Need I remind you of our limited time? Austin said. Fuck you. The least Ella Day-like thing. Clarity popped into being like a brutal slam to my soul. What does Ella Day do least? Honesty. Better yet, radical honesty. A laugh that teetered between humor and breakdown bounced in my chest, cracking through the clog in my throat. Austin tipped his head. Survive, Anti-Ella. Survive. If the vial's for my blood and you're not coming near me with a fucking dagger again, go for it. I settled my face into a calmer smile. Counter to every instinct in my jaded Sybil heart, I'm going to tell you the brutal, fucked up truth, Austin. I can't break out of room-tempered... Room? Room temperature?
Room temperature bindings.
Oh my God. You know what? I didn't share that thing.
I don't know why that is my voice today.
You know what? It's your voice every time we do this, and I'm here for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Room temperature. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is how my voice goes. Yeah.
Counter to every instinct in my jaded Sybil heart, I'm going to tell you the brutal, fucked up truth, Austin. I can't break out of rune-tempered buildings. By God bless.
Do you want me to do that part
No,
too?
I don't. I've got it. Counter to every instinct in my jaded Sybil heart, I think I do. I'm going to tell you the brutal, fucked up truth, Austin. I can't break out of rune-tempered bindings. You know it. I know it. I'm not all that fussed about it. Really. Austin came closer, bravely holding my gaze until he had to look down to scrape his little vial across the back of my hand, inefficiently grabbing a few drops of blood. As soon as Kate figures out I'm missing, word will spread to some very dangerous people who happen to care a whole lot about my safety. When one of them finds me, and believe me, they will, they're going to kill you for kidnapping me. Death is coming for you, dude. At this point, it's just a matter of how painful your exit from this world will be. So certain. He shoved the stopper back into the vial and set it on the table. We can start with the fact that I'm Gale. Are you? Austin raised a fucking eyebrow at me. Don't, Ella. Don't, Ella. Yes, Austin, I am. Good, Ella. And, even worse for you, my uncle really, really enjoys killing people, and he'll snag pretty much any opportunity to partake in his favorite pastime. How terrifying. Austin rolled the table to right in front of me, almost touching my knees. Correct. Last I heard, Uncle Declan's corpse count had passed 30 in his current fuck hunters endeavor. You'd be nothing more than a pit stop to him. Austin laughed. Bloodlusty uncle aside, there are way more people coming to look for me than you're going to dodge for long. And if you decided to kill me to make your life easier, well... I wrinkled my nose with a touch of drama I couldn't suppress. Since you love dossiers, I assume you did enough research to understand that slaying a Sybil breaks the covenants of the Etherean Treaty, meaning... He moved all the vials to the far side of the table rather than answer. Meaning, if you kill me, you're hot gluing a target to your head. Any Etherean anywhere in the world would be well within their rights to kill you and should be celebrated and honored for doing so if you're fond of the older texts. He froze for a split second, a blip in movement almost too quick for me to catch. Such confidence from one sent to a Blackwood to rot. Such a risk for someone who seems to actually have their shit together. Silence. That's right, fucker. Austin, you're doing a great job dotting the I's on your death warrant all on your own. I have zero chances of escaping you, and full disclosure, I'm too fucking tired at the moment to bother cobbling together some stupid plan that will definitely fail and probably end with me in pain. Or dead on the floor. Did you just threaten me to reaffirm your helpless status? Just laying out the basics to start an honest negotiation. Negotiation? Fucker laughed. My proposal? I agree to play good little captive and research assistant until somebody shows up to rescue me. Hopefully Uncle Declan, because watching you suffer would be fucking satisfying. In exchange, you agree not to push me into any blood rituals or other bullshit that will get me killed. Gifts like yours aren't something to fuck around with like a supernatural training montage. Don't believe me? There are plenty of records of Sybils ending up dead or worse because they weren't smart enough to know when to stop. I'm not a sacrificial seer. I'm not dying for your treasure hunt, understood? His lips stayed in one flat line as he exhaled through his nose. The blood ritual you were given could be tweaked. He opened his mouth like he was getting ready to yell at me for interrupting, then snapped it shut, furrowing his brow when he finally registered my actual words. Slowly and carefully, I said. And after we figure out what the fuck is wrong with my head because it's starting to feel like a concussion. Visions and brain injuries don't mix. It's not just bad in theory. I've tried it before. It all comes out as jumbled, unhelpful bullshit. Austin frowned. Frown at yourself, I said. You bashed my head. What? What were you doing?
What?
You said something under your breath.
Oh, I think I was just affirming brain shit stuff.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, motherfucker. I think I was talking to myself.
You know what's funny is that I snapped because we were going to cut that part, but I think we're going to leave that in. Okay. Frown at yourself, I said.
Sorry, we mentioned brain injuries, and I was like, yeah, you fucking were.
But it was so funny. I was just like, you just said something. What did you say? But yeah, no, all right, cool. So now you have an insight into some of the times that we snap. Okay. Thank you for coming along this journey. Frown at yourself, I said. You bashed my head. His gaze flicked over my shoulder. Every muscle in my back tensed as fear clawed through calm. Fuck. Ask, don't react. Unless you hired someone to kidnap me for you. I twisted, blatantly trying to look in the direction he'd glanced, not seeing anything but more stored grills. I can assist with your injury, Austin said. I whipped my head back to him. I did that just for you. Trying to catch his expression, earning some extra strong throbs banging through my skull with a fun little side of blurred vision. Sorry, was that tone guilt or confirmation of an accomplice? Neither. I blinked, clearing my vision, getting a better view of his current pinched frown. Great. Well, if we can agree to respect brain injuries, I'd also like some water, my hands free so I can turn pages on my own, and a trip to the bathroom. There is no bathroom. So just pee my pants? I shrugged with my good shoulder. If you're sure you want to clean that up, I'll... He almost fucking sputtered at the indignity. Find you an option. No accomplice for mop-up? Great, moving on, I said. Our arrangement is also going to include an exchange of information. What? Austin dragged his knuckles up the center of his forehead. Giving him a tension headache hadn't been the goal, but I liked the perk. You're going to need some assistance that You're going to need some assurance that I'm actually trying to help find Howie's cache and not just stalling while I wait to be rescued. Demeaning to say, too true to deny. I'll tell you why your dossier's intro is lacking, I said. You tell me what you know about Clara. I've already explained I have no interest in the wolf. You've just been following me closely enough to know I'd found Clara's remains within hours? Unless there's a big gap in my memory, what time is it? Not quite 5. That one, he answered without hesitation. Is there a countdown for my proof of usefulness? Yes. Is it dawn? Please don't say dawn. It's too fucking cliche. He cracked a hint of a smile. Not dawn. Should we set a timer? Unnecessary. If you didn't kill Clara, don't know anything about Clara, and really are just after a pet Sybil, how long have you been following me? I've already answered one of your questions and gotten no information in exchange, and, Austin frowned, I haven't even agreed to your proposal. Okay, buddy. You couldn't have been playing Sybil Stalker for too long. I mirrored Austin's overplayed frown, watching his face for tells. You weren't following me when my parents were alive, or Clara wouldn't be your talking point for this tracking bullshit. Not at Hale House, you'd never have gotten close enough. Were you part of my Welcome to Lauraldale package? New books for school, new stalker for funsies? A tiny twitch at the corners of his eyes. Not guilt or fear, more like humor. I'll free your wrists so you can hold the binder, he said. And, if you prove yourself a worthy investment, you can entertain me with more rhetorical questions on our journey. Shit. Journey where? Fuckerface ignored me, going back to rearranging his table, placing the rocks in a little circle in the center. Getting farther away from Kate's was bad. Farther away means more area to search, means harder to find. I'd be found. I knew I'd be found. But it could take for fucking ever. Not if you're smart, Ella. Breadcrumbs, Ella. Hair? Blood? Caleb's cuff? I might be able to sneak it off. Before I free your wrists... Yes! Free wrists! Drop cuff. Thank you very much. I'd like to try something. He picked up the dagger. What? Fuck you. Put that down. The words spurted out as my heart slammed into my throat. You've a penchant for tactile triggers, correct? He grabbed my left hand, twisting it palm up, the metal binding bruising the bones in my wrist. I'm actually going to make a note because I want to ask you something later. Okay. Fuck off. I couldn't keep the pain out of my voice. This is the dagger that killed Howard Castell, a clear object of importance in a pivotal moment. That doesn't mean duration of exposure matters. He yanked my fingers back, flattening my palm.
Prolonged contact could succeed where a nick of the blade failed. Austin, you can't. He planted the hilt of the dagger in my palm and wrapped my fingers around it, clamping my hand in both of his, pinning the knife in my grip. I thought it hadn't worked, until I heard myself screaming. But not in pain. I couldn't be screaming in pain. I was holding the handle of the blade, not the blade of the blade. The blade covered in blood. Fresh blood. Dripping. Pooling, too, around my feet. A gray-haired man lay dead at my feet. Bang! Wrong. Not a man. But the woman didn't matter. I needed to turn around, needed to see who had come to drag the murderer away, but I was the murderer. But I couldn't. Waves of pain crashed through my head. I couldn't focus Ella. Creak, creak. But I couldn't be the murderer. But I couldn't look away from my hand holding the dripping blade, and my head, jagged, throbbing, lightning streaking through my skull. Creak, creak. Blood tainted the sides of my pointer finger and thumb where the dagger's guard had failed to stop the mess from spreading. Pain burst through my head as a shadow yanked my weapon away. Creak, creak. The lightning in my skull became blinding white bolts tearing through the vision, stealing everything but the bloody blade in the shadow's hand. Another voice joined mine, screaming in harmony. Only I didn't want this voice to scream. Pain from this voice stole my lungs, not the air, my lungs. My chest was hollow. I couldn't even call for help. No, 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 no. Creak, creak. I dragged myself toward the surface, clawing past the pain-sparked lightning, fighting back to reality, back to the fucking storage shed. No, 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 no. The concrete smirk greeted me, but the blood on the shadow's blade didn't disappear, and the pool of blood on the ground grew, and the screaming didn't stop. And thus ends the chapter. My God, can I tell you? So I didn't realize before, and you can tell me if I have to cut any of this stuff, or you can just not answer. Sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes because my contacts are driving me insane.
But you have an appointment for Friday. I got you an appointment.
I know. So y'all, because life has been so hectic with going into Universal rehearsals and everything, which has been great. Like, I'm not complaining. But I have not had time to do anything like outside of our publishing industry and my jobs outside of the house.
And Titanic.
And Titanic. Thank you for pushing your glasses up.
I don't know what noise to make for the pushing, so like, I don't know why.
Creak, creak, as I push them up. I don't know. But the bang that happens here on the second to last page, that's the door banging open. Oh my God, it's the door to the shed banging open, because later on you have the creak, 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 creak. What does that sound? We heard it in the last chapter. It's that freaking thing that is creaking along, which only does so when the door is open. In those screams, I am totally convinced, and Megan has not told me, like I even said this to her before, she hasn't confirmed it. She's covering her face. But I am almost positive that those screams are actually from Austin. So I think that he is being murdered. This is what Megan does, y'all. Like, seriously, if you have not been reading her books, like it is just, oh, she's so good. Okay, sorry. This is the reason. This chapter right here, and I didn't realize how much in love I was with this chapter until this reading of it, the third reading of it, because you have dropped so much shit in here, and I am so excited for people to figure it out.
And the Creek Creek is like the tiniest.
The Creek Creek is great.
Creek Creek is tiniest.
Yeah, there's more stuff too. Okay, so I talked about that. So why don't you give us your thoughts on the chapter, Miss Author? Like, how do you feel? How do you feel this is wrapping up? Let me actually move this over again. So those are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I talked about this being the longest chapter in the book. You don't want to tell us anything more?
About what?
Well, no, just about how you're feeling about the chapter, but you can't really talk, I guess, much about it.
I am feeling like I only have one chapter left in this book.
Yeah.
And that by saying that, I'm screwing myself over. But I'm also very glad that my break between this and the next time I'm working with Ella is like a week to launch a Kickstarter and do a wrap up, and like a little bit with Lori, and then we're like right back in.
Oh, speaking of the Kickstarter, I just designed the one side of the bookmark that we're doing. So we're going to do a signed bookmark with any of the physical tiers. So if you order anything physical, you'll be getting a signed bookmark, and the back of the bookmark is awesome. Megan and I sat down and designed it the other day.
So much art from this book. Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of the sketches, just kind of like very artfully. We worked on this for probably 40 minutes. Like, we knew that we wanted sketches on this, but it was like the placement of them, making sure it didn't look too tidy.
No, like a degree this way.
That's great. So anytime Megan says she doesn't have any visual art skills is bullshit, because she does. Because when we finally got to what was perfect, we both knew. We went, oh, that's it. So like,
but that's the thing, is that I can be like, not yet. I'd like something like this. Yeah. I just don't have the skills to do anything.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, like, that's what I'm for, right? Like, I've got like great visual skills, but I understand Photoshop.
Well, yeah, with like something like the bookmark, but with things like the cover and all the sketches, it's me being like, I want a little stuffy ram with a knife in his back. And then like an artist actually makes it happen.
So my first comment in here that wasn't about your long ass fucking sentence was an old 70s, maybe 80s picture. I wrote podcast. Fuck you for saying this is old, Ella. What a shithead. It's like 70s, 80s, you asshole.
In a time frame where there would still be...
It's like, I don't consider 70s old, and I wasn't even alive in the 70s, but that's not old.
But it needs to be someone where there are people who know Howard who are still alive, where it's not like, oh, there's that one like 97-year-old dude who met Howie once. Like, he died young enough that there are plausibly multiple people who knew him well, even if all his offspring are gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I needed it to be that recent. Yeah. But at the same time, to Ella, that's old.
That's such shit. I hate it so much.
I know.
But I mean, no, I get it. I remember saying the same thing to Gen Xers and boomers, but now it's like, oh shit, it's us now.
One of the things, and this is horrifying.
Okay.
But one of the things that I'm really excited about working with like minis, with Lori's mini storylit, is that if you look at the timeline, Lori is super fucking close to our age.
Sure, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So we could easily have a daughter Ella's age.
Going back to where I want to write in her timeline, I'm really working at the right age at the right time for us.
Yeah.
Which I've never really gotten to do before.
That's true. Oh
so I'm really excited to do that. And it's just going to be like not even a whole novella length.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like a between season story that flushes out the world and Ella's backstory and builds on things and is the rather lighter workload for me while we do the Kickstarter love.
Sure.
But I'm really excited because it's the right... Like, it lines up with our age group. So I'm already looking at planning her for... Oops, sorry. I'm already looking at planning her first chapter.
Okay.
And one of the things is she needs to send an email. And she's sending this before Ella was born. So it's like, fuck, I need to find a fucking truck stop. So I have Wi-Fi so I can send this damn email.
Well, wait, hold on. When is she sending it? Because she's going to be hard-pressed to find Wi-Fi. She might have to find a hardwired computer.
No, because it would be post-college for us.
Oh, okay.
So then if you're at, like, it would have to be, like, a Love's.
Oh, my God. Do you remember? Okay, y'all. Oh.
Pulling into McDonald's parking lots because they were the only ones with Wi-Fi?
No. Owning a laptop that you had to buy
a cord.
Well, a like an external USB device that would act as a Wi-Fi receiver. Oh my God!
But I'm just excited because it's like her.
I guess it wasn't Wi-Fi; it was an Ethernet cable. Probably.
I don't know. You always hooked everything up.
I honestly don't remember. That was so long ago. Oh my God, Meanie is the most adorable.
No, if we ever post the video of this, which I'm starting to doubt will ever happen, she's been doing the cutest stretchy poos. So if anyone looks at me in this video, I'm just like gazing with awkward faces that way because she's.
Oh, what a big
I know
yawn.
she yawned. It's been the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, it's that thing where I'm really excited where I've always kind of written in the modern time frame where it's like iPhones or the at least equivalent. Like that Insta information. But because I'm going back in time to Lori being just out of college.
Yeah. Sure.
It's that you find a really, really high-end truck stop.
Yeah.
We're talking like a Love's. Wait, what's the other one?
Pilot, Loves, and
I think it's just Pilot and Loves.
No, there's another one that's really good. I can't. Flying J. Pilot, Loves, and Flying J.
I don't think Flying J had Wi-Fi back in the day. I think it was only Pilot and Loves.
Okay, all right.
Who had it like way back.
I don't know. There were no Pilots or Loves, to my recollection, near where I was.
No. I'm talking about when we moved to Rhode Island.
When we moved. Oh.
Like post-college when we were like in like moved to Rhode Island, moved to Pennsylvania, moved back to New York. Like in those days, it was like Pilots and Loves.
We were also behind the times because we didn't get a smartphone until 2012 was our first smartphone. That's only 13 years ago if you think about it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but we were about 2-3 years behind at that point.
More than that.
So we're like
Blackberries were 2007, 2008. Right?
Yeah, for rich fucking people. Do you think Ella comes from generational wealth?
No, I don't. Generational wealth of blood spilling.
Generational wealth of generational wealth of I inherited my grandmother's truck.
Okay, so I wanted to hit real quick on danger baubles because I immediately was like, oh my God, it's like a danger noodle. I don't know how many of you know about this, but back before AI was as prevalent as it is now, there were these things. It was very novel. It was like, oh, look, computers or Google's AI is dreaming or like naming these things. And it named a snake a danger noodle. And it was just adorable. It's taking us back to the adorable. You remember when AI was adorable?
I know.
It's like talking about our nephews. Remember when they were adorable?
Now they have the power of destruction.
That's true. It
is completely similar.
They're 9 and 11 now.
Jesus.
I know. I know. Talk about feeling
We
old.
are so close to doom.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We get to this whole thing, and Megan's not going to confirm or deny whether or not it is Ella. But we get to the part where she's like, oh my God, is it me? Was I seeing myself on the ground by the crack? And Megan was like, so have you ever made that, like, that correlation? Like, have you made that association between the two? And I was like, yes. She's like, really? I said, yes, from the first time it happened. She's like, oh, okay. So that just made me very proud. I was like, yes, I did. As soon as she saw a girl with black hair lying on the ground, that she, what? Wasn't it black hair?
No, her hair's not black.
Oh, what color is her hair?
Her hair's just dark.
Oh, I'm sorry. So with dark hair.
She's not blonde.
I don't know what.
She's non-blonde. That's the thing. She's not blonde. She's not tall.
If you add 3 more, you have a band from the late 80s, early 90s.
You could have a band.
4 non-blondes.
But she's not blonde. No. She's not tall. She's not short. She's not curvy. She's not skinny. Like, she's just like...
She just is. Right.
A person-shaped brunette.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So either way, but it was just like... I was like, yes, I have always thought that could very well be her. But that's... I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. So, but you're not going to tell us whether or not that it was actually her, right? You're not telling us? No confirm or deny? Okay. That's fine. I love...
The future is always in flux. How about that? I'll go with that.
All right. So it could totally be somebody else. BS, I'm calling it. Okay. This
could have.
This part where Austin is dragging his knuckles up the center of his forehead. I love that it's finally like, it's like in Dennis the Menace. At one point in that movie, doesn't like the kidnapper go, oh my God, just get me rid of this kid. That it is very much that moment where Austin's like, what? Oh my God.
Well, because as much research as he's done on her, he doesn't like... Nobody's gonna know, like, bitch, please, I fucking
Has he ever tried to kidnap a Sybil before?
No.
Okay. Has he ever kidnapped before?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's fucked. Okay. Oh, this right here. Okay. Maybe we've talked about this in previous episodes. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a while. You have a penchant for tactile triggers. Does that differ between Sibyls? Like,
yes.
so some Sibyls are able to. So, what is it more like sight or sound? Is it different senses?
It can be different senses. It can be you have to be in a trance. It can be you have to use a spell. It can be like you have to be in contact with a specific person.
Okay.
You have to ask a question. You have to use a blah 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 blah.
Interesting. So, we've talked about the Sibyllary. So would different people in the Sibyllary like have those different skills? And,
yes, it's just she's born from werewolf, and so it's that animalistic something fucking brushed my whiskers.
Yeah, sure.
Where it's like other people wouldn't notice, and other people are seeing bigger things that maybe she's not catching, but her it's like something bad touched me. I see bad.
Yeah.
Like an animal.
Yeah.
Because she does
like animals.
That is the seed that she was grown from, is that she has animal instincts built in her. So if something bad is getting close, something bad is touching, she recognizes it.
Do you see how this has come full circle? Man seed. The podcast episode began with man seed, and now it is closing with man seed.
Are we just like gonna awkwardly sign off on Nancy?
No, not necessarily. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, like with the Kickstarter, the different cons that you're going to?
Yes, I did want to talk about stuff with the Kickstarter.
Yes, please
so
do.
if you have not already followed, if you are a Kickstarter person, then you know that, well, okay. So if you're not a Kickstarter person, let's go that way.
Yeah, sure.
If you're not a Kickstarter person, before a Kickstarter launches, there's this little screen where you can go to the project and just be like, I think you're cool. Tell me when you launch, my friend. You're really neat. And so if you haven't, that's called following the project.
And by the way, the link to do so is always in the podcast notes. It started a few episodes ago, but it is always down there, so you can very easily find it.
But so doing that, you put in your little email address, and it's basically like, oh wow, people like this thing. And then when the Kickstarter launches, it'll just send you an email, whether or not you decide that you want to get the special edition hardback or an ebook or a paperback, whatever. It doesn't matter. It'll just be like, hey, this launched. The entering for the following is like no commitment from you. But so if you could do that to please the algorithm lords, that would be great. But the thing that I'm really most excited about that we've been working on with the Kickstarter is we've been sort of sorting through all the tiers.
Yes.
And like what all. So on Kickstarter, you get pledge tiers. So for our Kickstarter campaign, because on Kickstarter, the purpose is creation.
Yes.
You are never supposed to use a Kickstarter campaign unless you are creating something new. So the thing that I want to create through this Kickstarter campaign that would not be otherwise possible is this special edition hardback.
Yes.
Because having hardbacks made, like the setup and the print runs and all of that, it is prohibitive.
It is.
It is prohibitive to
This is your 30-second novel. It'll be the first one that has had a dust jacket. Like we've done.
It's such a big jump.
Yeah.
And so that's what the Kickstarter is to get this special edition paperback or the special edition hardcover with the dust jacket, because we're going to have 38 minimum custom sketches in this book. Plus,
with some possible stretch goal sketches, which we're excited about.
Which we're hoping to have like full skein sketches and other things like that. So it's going to be this art-filled, glorious hardback. I forgot what my point was.
You were just talking about the different tiers and stuff.
Oh, right. So, because I know that a lot of people who would like to read the book, like a beautiful special edition hardback is like, great, but I need groceries, lady. So the cool thing about Kickstarter is that we can set the campaign at different levels. So there's like I want the ebook with all the pretty pictures, but like, don't even charge me shipping. I can't deal with that. And then there's like, we're going to do a paperback, which is just like a special edition paperback.
Yeah, it was funny is I hadn't even thought about that, and then you put that on one of the tiers, and I went, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Because some
Why
people
wouldn't we do that?
are going to want the sketches, but they're not going to be able to afford the hardback.
Understood.
So then we have
And some people don't like reading hardback. I'm one of those. I don't love reading hardback.
Because it feels icky in your hands sometimes. It's so pretty, but a little icky.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have that. And so it was coming up with like the different levels and what we could do. And one of the things that I'm really excited to offer is a Tuckerization.
Yes.
Which a Tuckerization.
Is that
I'm
right?
doing 2 Tuckerizations.
Yes.
A Tuckerization basically means that it is giving a reader the rights to naming an unnamed character. So I've actually been planting from the beginning a few different people in the world of Laurel who don't have names as yet. So that there are a couple characters, depending on who wants the Tuckerization, who backs for that amount on the Kickstarter, that what name they give me. I have different options within Laureldale. That I know I'm going to see that character again. I know they are a worthy character, but they just haven't made it to naming stage yet.
Some of Violet's band members, maybe?
Violet's band members are named.
Oh, are they all? Okay.
They are, but there are other people that are like gonna be getting more geared
maybe
in.
people in Sagebrook? No, we're not there yet. Never mind.
Not quite there yet.
Okay, that's fine.
But it's those things with like that gearing up thing where I have those people planted, and so I'm really excited to do the Tuckerization so that I can put those names to those people in Laureldale so that they can have their names chosen by readers.
I'm really happy that you're
going
doing
forward.
that. Yeah, I'm happy that you're doing that.
And I mean, there are going to be some like rules where it can't be like a vagina or like masturbate.
Seymour butts.
Yeah, like there are going to be some things like that where it's like, okay, this cannot be. This cannot be an obvious thing.
Somebody bought a Tuckerization for the tethering when you released that, and they got to be in the Siren's realm, and you even wrote that character to be an accountant, which is what the real person was in life, which was hilarious.
But it's one of those things where like I can't, like there was something, I think it was England, where they were having a contest to name some big ship. And it was like a multi-million-dollar boat, and it ended up being Bodie McBoatface or something.
Right. Yes.
So it's one of those like I cannot accept a Bodie McBoatface unless I could work in Bodie McBoatface somehow as somebody's nickname. But
I mean, that sounds like something that Ella would think. So
it's true that we could have in this particular case, we could have a Bodie McBoatface.
This, or if you ever do another Bryant book.
Bodie McBoatface.
But
yes, so that I'm really excited to do that one, and I'm excited to have like the bookmark and the character and like all those different things.
Me too. All right. Well, I think that is about time for us. So why don't you go ahead and give them where they can find us?
Please like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever your preferred podcast. That wasn't even good. Podcast platform lets you do to tell the algorithm that you like us.
Proud of you.
But you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can always find us on Substack, where you can find the podcast episodes, and that is where the Advanced Reading Copy team is based. And
Are you okay?
No. And please do check out, you can go to meganorussell.com, and that's RUSSELL, 2 S's and 2 L's, because my upcoming event travel section has been updated.
It has been updated. It includes
with some
everything
awesome events
so far that has been verified, confirmed.
So please do check it out, because if I'm in your area, I would love to see people. So
and let us know about places that you think that we should apply to, because we're still relatively new to the con circuit. This will only be year 2.
Yeah,
I've been doing it, so let us know.
This was only my second year applying to Dragon Con, and I got in.
And you got in?
I feel like I cheated.
It's because you didn't cheat, Megan. My God, you have 31 novels.
I cheated.
And I, like, on different platforms, it's like they're quite highly rated, all of them. So you're good. You've earned your place here.
I have had very special features on all platforms.
That's very true. You've had more book bubs than any other author I know.
That's
not like, I'm sorry. Please understand if you're an author listening to this, and that's not me being like, you're so good. I'm just like, it's truly remarkable because people don't get that many book bubs.
I'm in like the 30s, y'all. I've had 30 plus book bubs.
For like book free. featured deals.
Yeah, like
which are the hard ones. So it is truly remarkable.
I think it's because I'm in an easier genre than most of my friends.
You're not though. Wait, hold on. What do you mean? Oh, 4-book club, because they don't do a lot of romance?
Well, no, they do. Oh, I guess they do a lot of romance.
So that's the thing.
So then is there more competition?
I don't know.
I'm just going to say that they know I have really cute cats who like toys. So I get lots of book bubs because they're like, your cats need catnip.
Yeah, that's exactly
We've gotten off course again.
Yeah, that's what we do best. Okay, so then I will go and end it now. Does that sound good? It's time to end it. We're ending it now.
Wait, is this like are we having like a standoff?
We're having a standoff. Oh my God, don't lick my face.
I ended the standoff.
Until next time, thank you for reading. Don't do it. No, stop it. Stop it.